Have you ever felt the pain of watching your own child drift away from everything you once taught them? You raised them with love, guided them in faith, and showed them the path to righteousness. But now, you can only watch from a distance as they make choices that break your heart. That is one of life's deepest heartbreaks, not the pain of losing someone, but the pain of seeing them lose themselves. Many parents cry out, "God, where did I go wrong? I prayed, I taught, I believed, but still, my child turned away." If you've ever whispered those words through your tears, you are not alone. God hears every prayer that falls from a parent's heart. And even when it feels like heaven is silent, God is still working, not just in your child's life, but in yours too. There once lived a humble man named Eli, a carpenter known for his quiet faith and gentle spirit. He had one son, Micah, his pride and joy. From a young age, Micah had a bright mind and a bold heart. Eli taught him the scriptures, told him stories of God's faithfulness, and prayed over him every night. But as Micah grew, his heart began to change. He wanted to live life on his own terms. He wanted freedom from what he called rules, limits, and religion. One morning, without a word, Micah left home. He walked away from his father, from his faith, and from everything he had been taught. Eli's heart shattered that day. Days turned into months, months into years. Every night, Eli would sit by the window, looking down the dusty road, whispering one prayer. "Lord, bring my son home, before it's too late." But heaven stayed silent. Meanwhile, Micah's search for freedom led him into darkness. He found friends who promised joy but led him deeper into sin. He found success that filled his pockets but emptied his soul. He lived loud, laughed hard, but every night, when the laughter faded, he felt the same emptiness echo inside. One night, he found himself alone, broken, hungry, and lost. Everything he chased had vanished. And in that silence, he finally remembered his father's words. "Son, true freedom isn't running from God. It's walking with Him." Tears filled his eyes as he whispered, "Father, I want to come home." Eli was sitting outside his house that morning, as he had done for years, when he saw a figure in the distance, weak, dirty, limping, but familiar. His heart skipped a beat. Could it be? As the man drew closer, Eli saw his son's face, worn, broken, and covered in tears. Micah fell to his knees and said, "Father, I've sinned against God and against you. I don't deserve to be your son." But before he could say another word, Eli ran to him, embraced him tightly, and through tears whispered, "My son was lost, but now he's found." That night, their house was filled with joy again. Micah had finally come home, not just to his father, but to his heavenly Father. Eli's story is not just his, it's the story of every parent who still prays for a child who has wandered away. When your child drifts from God, don't lose hope. The same God who brought Micah home is still writing your child's story. Remember this, God doesn't work on your timeline, He works on His. Sometimes, He allows your child to fall, not to destroy them, but to bring them to a place where they finally look up and say, "God, I need you." So don't stop praying. Don't stop believing. Don't let the silence fool you. Heaven is moving even when you can't see it. Every tear you've cried is seen by God. Every prayer you've whispered has been heard. And one day, you will see what Eli saw, the miracle of a child returning home. Hold on to this promise from Jeremiah 31 verse 16. "Restrain your voice from weeping and your eyes from tears, for your work will be rewarded, declares the Lord. They will return from the land of the enemy." That's not just a verse, it's a divine assurance. Your child may be far, but they are never beyond God's reach. Even in rebellion, God's love is chasing them. Even in darkness, His light is calling them home. If this message touched your heart today, take a moment and write in the comments. Backhand index pointing right. Lord, I trust you with my children. Let it be your declaration of faith. Because your trust, your patience, and your prayer, they are not in vain. One day, you will look up, and the one you prayed for will walk back into your arms. And you'll say, God, you were faithful all along. And remember, if you want to hear more messages that strengthen your faith and draw you closer to Jesus, don't forget to subscribe to Walk with Christ. Because every story of hope reminds us, no one is ever too far gone for the love of God.